So here we are, the third map, the tense map, where things could be very, very exciting. Spawning down in the lower right hand position as the blue Zerg player. He represents Rockat. We have Dimaga. And his opponent in the top left, representing Gentle Giants, it's Majestic. So, Majestic gonna be looking to duke it out now. Up against Dimaga, who looked dominating in the first game, but in that second game wasn't able to make that Ling Hydra Corruptor composition work. And because of that, he's gonna be a little bit annoyed because he doesn't take the clean 2-0, which he was probably looking for. And therefore, he's got to now battle it out in this third game, where there's actually quite a substantial risk if he makes another mistake. So, in terms of what these two are opening, we've got Majestic just grabbing down that gateway as expected, Dimaga opening spawning pool first. No crazy timing on that. It was a 15 pull. Best you can do. And yeah, this is, again, looking like both players happy to open. Very standard, yet again. Keeping a close eye, because one probe's coming up. Shouldn't be too scary to Dimaga here, though. Because he knows that this is unlikely to be a cannon rush or anything like that this late with that probe getting over there. Dimaga now, just getting the first little bit of information about what his opponent is doing. He's just checking to see if there's a nexus. Knows there isn't, but the timings of this is all exactly the same as last game. Majestic just going for that cyber core first, getting the 4 probes in gas, so actually quite gas heavy early on, and this will let him get as quickly as possible up into that Stargate if he wants to do it yet again. So keeping an eye on what Dimaga's doing. He's just going to be droning quite heavily now. He's gone for the 2 Zerglings. Got 4 in game number 2. So slightly, yes, he gets 1 additional drone rather than those 2 additional Lings. And that's because he's feeling pretty safe. He's scouted everything. Chrono Boost coming down on the Stalker. I'm not sure how I feel about this. If it gets the Overlord, sure. Great. Worth it. But I don't think it can get the Overlord. This Overlord should escape. So you're chrono boosting our Stalker, spending a chrono boost that could otherwise be spent on probes, and you're not really getting anything for it. There's no benefit to getting this Stalker out super fast. Dimaga can escape out. The only thing this Stalker does now offer is able to just prevent the Overlord getting back in to scout more. And there is only the 1 Overlord over here this time. On previous maps, Dimaga has actually sent 2 to get 1 each side in order to come straight through, but yeah, all nice and safe. Stalker's still coming over, and he may actually... No, he still can't get the kill. This Overlord should have no trouble escaping. Actually, he can't, no. He should be able to escape. He's going to have to do a little dance around now. Going to run away. Right in the middle, he may be able to survive, but regardless, Stargate coming down yet again here. But Dimaga should have got in with that link to see it, so knows what's coming. Meanwhile, he's mashing that drone key yet again. If you do play Zerg, it's recommended that you reinforce the D key with like titanium just to stop it melting. But yeah, everything really quite comfortable, quite good from both these players, who are opening, in honesty, identically to game 1 and 2. There's not really any variation between them. They're both confident in their build orders. And it was really the mid-game where there was any kind of change in kind of tact. So, Majestic, I would say is being a little bit predictable in what he's done, but it's worked well for him in one of the games. Dimaga as well being very predictable, but it worked well for him in one of the games. And Dimaga is one of the few Zerg players currently who is preferring to use Corruptors to deal with Colossi as opposed to Vipers. Now, there is some sense behind that. Ling, or Roach Hydra, or Ling Hydra, or whatever, and Corruptors, the Corruptors get definite damage down. on the Colossi. Like, they will kill them. As long as there's not like an overwhelming number of Stalkers or Voidways or something. But what they don't have is just a chance to quickly dispatch them. Whereas Vipers, if the Abducts hit, straight away those Colossi get in the main army and they get focused down here instantly. They don't get any damage down, really. There's just the risk that they'll die. So, Dimaga favouring the kind of safer option. The chance to, or not the chance, the kind of guarantee to slowly take the Colossi down, rather than the risk of not taking them down at all. And right on cue, Dimaga's Hydra Den, on its way out. He's got a Spore Caller here at each base, fending off the Phoenixes. But Majestic, he's adding in that robotics facility, just as we saw in every other game so far this series. He knows what he wants to do, it's working for him, and he is happy with it. So, Stargate coming down. More Phoenix coming out of that Stargate. And yeah, this is a very, very safe, normal build out of Majestic, who's staying within his comfort zone. And I don't actually have a problem with staying in your comfort zone on the whole, if you're laddering or something like that. Having your one build that works well is good for you. You know that things are going to go the way you expect and what happens. But in a best of 3 environment, especially in a WCS environment where you are going up against the top players in a region, doing the same build time and time again makes it very easy for your opponent to react to what you're doing and just flat out counter you. So game 1 and game 2 saw Dimaga try and get aggressive after fending off the Phoenix, once he had a decent number of Hydralisks out. This game he tried to do it with a couple of Zealots but wasn't able to sneak by, but did get a little bit of scouting information. Robotics Bay also coming through, but that is all the way at the back of the main base, so not going to be able to do too much. He's also busy pushing through, adding in a couple more Hydralisks, keeping a close eye on things. We've got, obviously, the 4th hatch now on its way as well. Plus, just the Hydras, just looking quite nice. And sorry, I said a 4th hatch on the way. It's not on its way yet. I thought that Zergling was as a drone, so no 4th yet. No 3rd either, though, coming out yet from Majestic. So instead, we're just seeing this Protoss player turtle up. He's going to be adding in a Colossus, again producing these Immortals. And I've got to say, the Immortals are really making me scratch my head, because game 1 and game 2 they were there, and game 1 and game 2 Dimaga never made a single roach, and that's really where Immortals shine. So I don't understand why he's getting them, but not my place to question why. So the first Colossus about to pop out, +1 armor coming down to join +1 attack for the Protoss side. Meanwhile, Dimaga adding in +1 missile attack, just upping the damage output of those Hydras. Worth noting that there is of course the debris as a second entrance into your natural base. And if we find Majestic a bit too far out of position, the Lings and Hydras could get in there and try and take it down. And Majestic is in a bit of an awkward spot here, although Dimaga, has he seen that this is coming yet? No, but definitely sees it now. Knows there's one Colossus and a decent number of Immortals. Coming in from the flank, losing a couple of Hydralisks here. This is a nice engagement for Majestic. It may not seem like there was that many Hydras, but it was a decent chunk. Couple more Zealots getting taken out. Pylon that was very far proxied, picked off, but with a nice time warp, a lot of these units are going to get caught out of position. Dimaga cannot afford to be losing the Hydralisks specifically. Going to have next to no choice but to cancel this 4th now. And it's now down to, can he rally up enough units in order to deflect this attack? It's a 2-base all-in. This one Colossus timing. The Hydras trying to get some more damage down. A lot of Lings on the field. A lot of Stalkers though coming from the north. The force fields are good for the time being. The Colossus getting so much damage down. More Lings, more Hydras trying to come through. A couple of Phoenix from the back attempting to get a lift on a Queen, but unable to pick it off. Both of the Phoenix now die. But the Colossus is still alive. And that, as I've mentioned time and time again, is that there is just a ton of damage out from that. A second one joining in the mix now, and things really not looking good for Dimaga. Majestic playing this 3rd game awesomely. Pulling drones against the Colossus is never a good move, and Dimaga is in a rough spot. Losing that 3rd base, he has to crush this army. Not beat it, crush it, if he wants to stay in this game, because back home, Majestic is up in workers and on equal basis. Couple of force fields now coming through. Trying to zone out the Hydras. The Colossi with extended thermal lance can shell against that hatchery. The Hydras all bottled up in, and with a third Colossus coming through, no sign of any of those Corruptors yet. Dimaga is in a huge amount of trouble, pulling the drones to try and fight this. His supply tumbling. GG, good luck, and Majestic takes game number 3 of this best of 3 to advance 2-1 over Dimaga.